countries that may become superpowers. Saudi Arabia. It is the 12th largest country in the world and is the second richest country in terms of natural resources. This kingdom has huge oil and natural gas reserves worth an astonishing $34.4 trillion. Being a member of OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, Saudi Arabia has a considerable influence over the global supply of petroleum and its prices. It is financially and politically strong on account of its natural resources. Also, over the years the Saudis have added more capacity to its military arsenal, with spending that exceeds all other nations apart from America, China, and Russia. The 2015 tiff with Yemen was an example of the Saudi military power and also its capacity to influence allies. Saudi Arabia is becoming a defining power in the region and can potentially become a global superpower. Iran. Iran is the second Middle Eastern country which has a potential to be the next superpower. It has the world's second largest gas reserves after Russia with 33.6 trillion cubic meters and is the third largest producer of gas in the world. It is OPEC's second largest oil exporter and is an energy superpower. Iran spent most of 1980s in conflict with neighboring Iraq, and after the 2003 American-Iraq tiff, Iran has looked to profit from it. It serves to bring Iraq's vast oil fields under direct or indirect Iranian control. This would increase Iran's power and influence in Middle East and across the world. Iran also has an advanced nuclear program and an increasingly high-tech military. Canada. With an increasing change in climate, the world will turn to Canada for its natural resources. Canada has an abundance of renewable freshwater, oil and natural gas, an expected increase in arable land and plenty of space for people to live in gives it an edge in the war against global warming. Many experts believe that climate change could turn Canada into a global superpower. Another reason is that Canada's government has been ranked as one of the least corrupt in the world, which gives it an advantage over other countries like the US. Canada's high-quality institutions, universal healthcare and less controversial economic policies like a low corporate tax rate gives Canada the stability and public trust necessary to claim a leadership role in global affairs. Japan. Defeated in the Second World War, Japan laid in ruins for some time. But the US wanted to use Japan as a palisade to fight communism in the East. Japan's high-valued and ferocious work ethics and also financial aid from the US made it stand up again. By 1980s, it possessed the world's second biggest economy. The Japanese are in a strong position to become a leading participant as it is investing heavily in space programs and other scientific endeavors. With its significant economic strength and exceptionally high levels of technological prowess, there are few other nations that would be able to compete. The ability to potentially destroy, disrupt, or capture satellites belonging to rival powers, or attack targets on the ground from orbit, would be a major strategic advantage. Control of space might prove to be as important to the potential superpowers of the 21st century as naval strength was to the great powers of the previous centuries. Russia. Russia has a tumultuous history of rise and fall as a superpower. Russia has one of the highest military budgets in the world. A significant chunk of Ukraine, once part of the Soviet Union, has again been gobbled up. With the NATO alliance in decline, Baltic states such as Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania fear they might face the same fate. Meanwhile, Russia feels confident enough to order the poisoning of dissidents ostensibly under the protection of powers such as Great Britain, seemingly without any great fear of reprisal. Russia is still heavily dependent on oil, and its economy is plagued by corruption. However, it is still one of only 5 nations with power of veto on the United Nations Security Council, and the Russians still has claws in the form of the world's largest arsenals of nuclear weapons. It's entirely plausible that Russia might reclaim its place as a 21st century superpower. Brazil. Brazil is a BRIC nation along with Russia, China, and India. Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world and the third largest in the Americas. This South American country has been a target of poverty and income inequality. The level of inequality is such that the 6 richest people in Brazil has a combined wealth higher than the poor 100 million. Keeping aside the wealth issue, Brazil is blessed with vast natural resources. Brazil has around 30% of the world's remaining rainforests and resources such as nickel, manganese, copper, bauxite and timber. Since the discovery of the Tupi oil field, which contains an estimated 8 billion barrels and other offshore oil fields, Brazil can be seen joining the ranks of world's major oil exporter. India. It is predicted that by 2025, India will replace China as the most populous nation. India has the largest and youngest workforce in the world. Because of its population, its economy has grown impressively, and according to some experts, Indian economy will have overtaken the US economy by 2050. India is surrounded by China on one side and Pakistan on the other. Pakistan and India has mostly been at war. However, India now has a military strength that is powerful enough to fight the neighboring foes. The Indian military boasts a nuclear arsenal of around 100 warheads, and has the capability to launch them from land, sea, and air. 2 aircraft carriers, with a third under construction, means that India is one of the few nations capable of projecting significant military force almost anywhere across the globe. The increasing strength of India's economy, military capabilities, and fledgling space program is backed up by soft power. The nation is home to more billion-dollar startup business than everywhere except the United States of America and China. And its Bollywood film industry produces more films and sells more tickets than America's Hollywood.